Live from Menifee, it's Wednesday night. Sorry, I went off script. Let's see, it is 5 o'clock exactly, and I will call the closed session to order. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak or any correspondence on closed session items?
There are none.
All right, thank you very much. City Council will now recess to closed session. It is 5 o'clock and 30 seconds. Welcome, 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 everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Mr. City Attorney, he's not here yet. Where'd he go? I played a lawyer on TV.
There's nothing to report on a closed session.
We have to wait for him to say that. Unfortunately, I'm not authorized to say that. Jeff? Fair enough. While we're waiting for him, Madam Clerk, do we have any correspondence on tonight's agenda?
There are. The council's received correspondence on item 11.1 and 12.2.
Thank you very much. And I will note, just in case anybody wants to know, one of our items of correspondence was a letter, a memorandum from our Mayor, Ricky Estrada, on one of our agenda items tonight, 12.2. In case he's watching tonight, I want to let him know that we got it and we saw it. Mr. City Attorney, anything to report out of closed session?
Apologize for my tardiness, Mayor. Nothing to report.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Dynas.
Here.
Councilmember Diedrich.
Here.
Councilmember Temple.
Here.
Acting Mayor Carwin.
Here.
And Mayor Estrada is absent.
Thank you very much. Janet Ringelman, United States Navy veteran and Menifee resident, please provide us some words of inspiration tonight.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Good evening, council members, neighbors, and friends. We gather in a time that calls us to reflection, a time when the questions are pressing, the voices are many, and the way forward is not always clear. But even now, even here, I stand with a hope that will not be shaken. And I say to you today, I've seen the promised land. I've seen it not as a place without conflict, but as a future shaped by courage, not as a moment without disagreement, but as a way of living together with dignity and purpose. I've seen the promised land, where truth is spoken plainly and recedes with humility, where honesty is not punished, but honored. For truth does not divide people, truth prepares people for freedom. I've seen the promised land. I've seen it where love stands firm, not a weak love, not a convenient love, but a strong love. A love that listens before it judges, that heals rather than hardens, that refuses to give up on us. I've seen a community where leadership is measured not by power, but by service, where differences do not dissolve unity and disagreement does not erase respect. I know the road is not finished. I know the climb is still steep. I know the work will ask so much of us, but history reminds us that progress never came from despair and freedom never grew from fear. So let us walk together, not driven by anger, not paralyzed by uncertainty, but guided by hope. Let us speak with honesty. Let us act with compassion. Let us leave with love. For even in times like these, even when the nights feel long, I say to you today with confidence and faith, I've seen the promised land. And if we keep walking, if we keep believing, if we keep choosing what is right over what is easy, then this community and this great nation will continue to rise towards it. God bless all of you, and God bless our beautiful city of Menifee. Thank you.
Trying to remember the last time our words of inspiration got applause like that. That's pretty good. All right, I'm going to call on one of our hometown heroes, Artie Allen, to lead us in the flag salute. Would you do that, sir? U.S. Marines retired.
If you're a veteran, you may render a salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we've got a presentation. We're going to have a swearing in. We had a vacancy on our Parks, Recreation, and Trails Commission. My appointed commissioner resigned. He going on to do other things, so we've got his replacement tonight, and it's going to be Justin Matoyer. So could we ask the city clerk and Mr. Matoyer to come to the front for the swearing in, please?
Yes, ma'am. I, Justin Matoyer, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, item number 5.2 is our fire department quarterly update. Could I ask Battalion Chief Bill Law to please present the quarterly update?
Good evening, Acting Mayor, Council, and City staff. Bill Law, Battalion Chief, and I will be presenting the quarterly report.
You're going a little fast.
Oh, there. Oh, there we go. All right, for the months of October, November, and December, in the city we ran approximately, exactly 3,487 calls for service. Of those notable incidents, 10 structure fires, 200 traffic collisions, and an average on-scene time of 4.3 minutes per incident. For our automatic aids, we went to the city of Canyon Lake 10 times. Canyon Lake came in and assisted the city of Menifee once. 338 responses were outside of the city, 197 responses from outside agency into the city. Rookie, sorry. Okay, for aid given amongst some of the surrounding cities, we responded into the city of Lake Elsinore 13 times, city of Paris 76 times, Wildemar 95 times, and into the unincorporated county areas 154 times. Aid that we did receive from the city of Paris, 39 responses into the city. Temecula was in the city twice, and unincorporated county stations responded into the city 156 times. Also to note that will be helping us with these responses, City of Paris on Monday morning did open Station 105. It's located in the Green Valley Development intersection of Murrieta and Ethanak Road. And that went live again Monday morning. Also, within the next couple of months, we're expecting Station 103 to open. It'll be the new French Valley Station in the area of Washington and Sally Road, and that will help with responses in the county area, the southeast portion of town. And again, we expect it in a couple months that that'll open. For the Fire Marshal's Office, we completed 217 plan reviews, 54 planning cases, and completed just over 1,000 inspections with our goal, keeping our goal of 2-day inspection turnaround times and plan checks completed within the 10 business days. For our EMS division, our EMS specialist, Joe Silk, continues with his Menifee Lifesavers program, public defibrillator access. We've helped replace pads throughout the city and with Menifee PD. We did issue 271 Vial of Life forms, and the CERT Academy did graduate 11 people this go around. And for public outreach, we continue to work with the school district, city staff, the Oasis HOA for CPR Stop the Bleed programs. And we are currently working with law enforcement on a developing a program and a training for an active shooter or violent incidents within the city. Our special events and incidents, as we can see, the months of October, November, and December are pretty heavy within the city, with all of our stations participating in some form of special event, PR programs, whether that's going out to schools, conducting tours of the fire station, and of course hitting the big events within the city, Fall Festival, tree lighting, Day of the Dead. And last but not least, our safety message for the month in wintertime is to check on your carbon monoxide detectors, check your batteries, some signs of carbon monoxide, shortness of breath, dizzy. Feel any of those symptoms, obviously remove yourself from the residence and call 911. And with that, any questions?
Thank you very much, Battalion Chief Law. Do we have any questions? Any questions or comments on the fire quarterly update? None? I just want to, I'll just say right now, I want to extend a thank you to the City of Paris for hearing our pleas and taking action on that and being a good partner with us for that. We look forward to remaining good partnership with them in fire service in the future. Thanks for letting us know about them opening that station. That's a really excellent good faith move on their part, and we really appreciate that. Thank you for telling us about that.
And
Thank you.
Additionally, I did forget, Chief Scoville does apologize for not being here, but he is still assigned to the funeral detail for our line of duty death.
Absolutely. We're so glad that he's representing us for that. Thank you. Item number 5.3, Community Services Monthly Update. Director Mariana Mitchell, would you please present the item?
All right. Good evening, Acting Mayor, City Council, Menifee residents. My name is Mariana Mitchell, Community Services Director, and it's my pleasure to give a brief update on all things community services. So if I can please get the PowerPoint up. Perfect.
And everyone get your calendars out for the big list of activities.
So typically, January is a little bit of a slower month for us, so we like to take the opportunity to highlight some of our achievements, proud moments that happened over the last year. So not too many dates to take down quite yet, but lots of great information. So aside from the number of recreation programs, site visits, maintenance orders that we've completed, and memorable moments that we created for our Menifee residents throughout the year 2025, we were most proud of being able to say that we are celebrating 10 years of community service. So July 2025 was full 10 years in which our department has been in a part of Menifee. And so during that year, we're looking to constantly find ways to expand our programming and opportunities to enhance our partnerships. And we're proud to be able to do so through a number of grant opportunities through the National Recreation and Park Association, which provided additional funding for our youth sports programming, and then also formalizing the partnerships that exist in and around Menifee, because what makes Menifee so great is the number of people who come out and want to support one another and help make Menifee special. So we were proud to be able to formalize partnerships with the Lake Menifee Women's Club, our Veterans Foreign Wars post 1956, and the Menifee Valley Historical Association in a form of an MOU to ensure that we're able to work together again and bring additional programming, events, and items to our residents for their enjoyment and education. Additionally, we made some great strides in creating opportunities for public spaces and gathering, and some of the big projects that we have in the works are things like parks and open space. 2025, we were able to accept the donation from Canyon Heights HOA, the 10.4 acres in Quail Valley, which is going to be the home of the future Quail Valley Nature Park, which is currently in design. We also were able to obtain a $750,000 grant from the Land Conservation and Water Fund, which is a federal pass-through through the state parks, to help develop that park. We also have officially gained the 1.8 acres in Sun City, which is right behind Faith Lutheran Church, for our Sun City Green Space, which is going to be a future passive park, our first city-maintained park in Sun City. And then definitely last but not least, the city acquiring the nearly 400 acres known as Menifee Hills as a permanent public open space area in the city of Menifee. So those are all things that are kind of still in the works, and we're looking forward to see activate in the next year. Additionally, we want to give an update to our residents. For those of you who participate in a number of our programs or events or utilize our registration software, we're always looking to enhance our services, and just like the community is growing, so are we. So we have partnered with Rec Technologies, which is going to be our new registration and facility reservation software with the go live date of February 2nd. So we encourage anybody who utilizes our program to register for our programs and events to log in early prior to the go live date in order to get your account set up. We're hoping that this new platform is going to be a little more easier to use, a little more intuitive, something that you can easily use from your cell phone, your mobile device, in order to participate, sign up, register, pay for programs and activities for community services. So again, you can either scan the QR code or go to rec.us/Menifee and create your account today in order to be ready for that February 2nd go live date. And so kind of looking forward to 2026, we've got a lot of things in the works, and so I'm not going to read off every item on this list, but we do have a number of things that we do want to highlight. First off, in a few short weeks, we're going to actually have the installation of our very own Christmas tree in the new Civic Center Plaza. So the new parking lot that is going to be the future parking lot for our City Hall is also going to serve our Central Park and all the enhancements happening in there, and so we're excited to be able to have a tree of our own to decorate and to celebrate our holidays with. Moving forward into the year, we're looking at in the springtime to complete what is currently in progress, our feasibility study for Menifee Hills. We've got almost 400 acres, and we want to know how do we activate that so it's readily available for Menifee residents, and in order to make connectivity with existing roadways and trails such as the Salt Creek Trail, and we're hoping to be able to have additional information on how to do that and the resources that will be required to make that happen. Additionally, moving into our summer months, we're looking at a number of grand openings and exciting new things happening at our parks. So we have Valor Park, which is right next to Banner Village Park in District 3, looking to have that come on board as a city-maintained park in the summer, as well as Cimarron Ridge, which is up in the northeast area in District 2, as well as the installation of our new playground at Banner Village Park. So we'll be able to enhance what's already there with the splash pad year-round with the installation of the playground. And then last but not least, looking at the end of the year, just completing some of our longstanding CIP projects that have been in the works, such as a park ranger station at Audie Murphy Ranch, as well as additional lighting at E.L. Pete Peterson and Hidden Hills Park. So that's what's to come. There's going to be much more as far as events, and February we'll have your calendar packed full for all of 2026. But at this point in time, I want to thank our communications team, who's kind of helping us, for the most part, our community services department, where our residents recognize our recreation programs and events. And so we're kind of taking the opportunity to take a closer look at our unsung heroes, our parks and facilities maintenance team that make these beautiful spaces to have these recreation programs and events at. And so with that in mind, working with our communications team, we're looking at implementing a new Menifee TV program. And so we've got a little teaser reel that we'd like to highlight for today. And that concludes my report, unless there's any additional questions.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the City Council for Community Services? I have a couple. With regard to the green space in Sun City, do you have a timeline on that?
So we currently have an application into a state agency for funding for development. So we're hoping to enhance the funding we already have available. And we're hoping to get a notification on that grant application by February, and that'll determine the rest of our timeline.
And at this point, is all the property acquisition final?
Yes, yes it is.
Good. So once we get the funding, once we get the answer on that funding, we're ready to go.
Yes, that's correct.
Has there already been a bid requested? Do we have a contractor on that yet?
No, we do not.
Okay. And then my other area of question was... Cimarron Ridge. Cimarron Ridge Council District 2. That's District 2, the cutout up there?
Yes.
Is this park going to have a dog park?
I believe there is a small dog park located in the park.
Are they going to do a large dog park as well, or just a small dog park?
I believe it's just one dog park.
That's disappointing. Putting it to you, I'm going to ask you. We need a big dog park on the side of the freeway. So keep that in mind as these people are coming through. All right, that's all I had. Any other questions? Nope. Thank you very much, Director. Appreciate it. All right. Moving on. Agenda item number 6, agenda approval or modifications. Madam Clerk, are there any modifications to tonight's agenda?
There are no modifications, but staff will be requesting to continue public hearing item 11.1 during that item.
All right, so we'll deal with that when we get to it.
Yes.
Can I ask City Council for all in favor to approve the agenda? 1, 2, 3. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Public comments. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments on non-agenda items?
Yes, we do.
All right, so this is the time for members of the public to address the council about items which are not listed on the agenda. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the council's ability to respond to comments, so that means when you ask us questions and we don't answer, that's why. On non-agendized matters at the time such comments are made. Each speaker will be allotted up to 3 minutes on any single item. Madam Clerk, please call the first speaker.
We have Elaine McCree, followed by Mary Carnes.
You're sitting way over here. Your time starts when you stand up.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and neighbors of Menifee. Every city has a story, but great cities live their story out loud. And tonight I'd like to talk about a story that's already in concrete over the 215 in our city's crest and born from our landscape. It's the story of the acorn. The Menifee Arts Council presents the first annual Acorn Quest. It's more than a game. It is a citywide scavenger hunt that turns Menifee into a canvas. Local artists have hand-painted these incredible works of art, 20 of them, and they are going to be hidden in plain sight in businesses in Menifee for the residents to find. Residents of all ages will find them and receive a discount at the store. So free publicity for the Menifee small businesses and a fun way for our residents to engage in the community. I encourage all of you to play, and it starts February 2nd and ends the 28th, to see all these beautiful acorn pieces in person and get those discounts. So why the acorn? It's already ours. In our city seal, it's stamped into cement on the overpass. It greets our visitors to Menifee. And it honors the native Luswanian people who ate the acorns and lived on this land. It symbolizes growth and strength. Hey, Temecula owns grapes. They got the grape drop. Why not embrace the delightful acorn? Acorn Quest is a community art experience and community engagement program. And I also want to zoom out and think about it not just as a fun project, but it could have a legacy. So let's zoom out and look at how we can stand out in the Southwest Riverside region. What if we embrace the acorn as a symbol of the Menifee spirit? The acorn represents potential, the power of something small to become something mighty. And isn't that Menifee in a nutshell? Pun intended. Years from now, residents won't care that you approved another retail build out, which I appreciate though. They will remember that council embraced championing creativity, public art, and bringing Menifee spirit to life. Art transforms an ordinary city into an unforgettable hometown. It instills pride in the residents, it draws visitors to explore, and it could help us define our Menifee spirit. So thank you in advance for playing the game, posting on social, and visiting these beautiful artists and our wonderful small businesses in February. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine.
Next, are you going to tag team on the 20 seconds, or are you going to start your own?
No, I'm going
All
to
right,
start my
next
own.
speaker, Mary Carnes. Thank you. Go right ahead.
But I am going to continue with just giving you a little bit update on the Arts Council. Menifee, we, on January 31st, we're having a member appreciation reception, and everybody is invited because it really takes the whole city that have been promoting and actively spreading art throughout the city. And we throughout the last year, we've made a lot of partnerships with Bertram's Music. We're getting instruments, donated instruments and pianos that we're refurbishing and sending out to the schools or to kids who need them. And we have scholarship programs, and we're active with all of the city events and putting out craft shows and everything. And so this is kind of our way of thanking everybody for supporting us and for helping us spread art in the community. So I have a few invitations, some flyers for our event on January 31st, and I want to make sure that everybody knows about it and that you spread the word and show up and have fun.
Thank you. We'll wait for you to clear the podium. Next speaker, please.
We have Tina Vidalson and followed by Walt Stangl.
Good evening, everybody. I've been living in this area since about 2008. I moved into a condo on the McCall Expressway. Has anybody been lately on the McCall Expressway? Does anybody know where the McCall Expressway is? Okay. When I go outside and I'm speaking to any one of my neighbors, I can't hear them. I cannot hear them. I cannot hear myself. And I'm saying, okay, my condo now is worth less than it would be if it was on some other street in Sun City. I'm beside myself with this. I have asked 2 policemen to come on McCall and give tickets. I'm not a cop. I'm this little baby resident, you know, and I'm saying one cop was over on Cherry Hills, one cop the other day was over on Amherst and Sun City Boulevard. I said, would you please go over and give some tickets? These people are doing 60, 70, 68, 65. They're not doing 35 miles an hour. I don't know about anybody else, but I'd like to reduce the speed. It's deafening. The noise is deafening. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Walt Stangl, followed by Moses Covarrubias.
I'm one of Tina's neighbors, and I've spoken with a number of other people who live in the same area. And I've been in the area since 2019. But in the last 2 or 3 years, the number of trucks, the number of cars, the speed at which they and motorcycles drive is simply very dangerous. It's very dangerous for me to pull out of my driveway. It is, I'm just a few condos up from the stoplight, and people are very interested in getting away from that stoplight and on the road. And there's a little bit of a curve. And I'm just very concerned about where we are today, let alone where I imagine we might be if something happens, and I'm not sure where this project is, to increase the traffic over the bridge, over the 215. I understand that there's congestion there, and I realize it would be nice for all the people experiencing the delays to be able to get off of that bridge faster. Where does that put them? they faster, create more traffic on McCall, and more speed. There is a stop sign partway to Murrieta Boulevard. Rolling stops, very common. And so that really doesn't help the problem of the people driving towards there. They can just roll through, don't have to really stop, so why not go faster? So I would just appreciate knowing more about what studies have been done or projections for the increase of volume and speed with that bridge proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Moises Covarrubias, followed by Mike Knighton.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council members. Today I'm talking about an issue that I'm passionate about, which is government weaponization and electronic harassment. And now this issue has been something that has been controversial in the past, but President Donald Trump has been someone who has begun to speak about this, as well as to deal with this harassment. This harassment comes in the three forms. It comes in the form of voice-to-skull technology. Now, this is basically what you might have heard of as the voice of God, or sound disturbances. Victims of voice-to-skull hear noises or hear voices, and it comes directly into a person's cochlea and bypasses their regular hearing responses. The second way that this harassment occurs is through remote neuromonitoring. Now, this is mind reading in the form of technology that translates brain waves into words, what a person thinks, images, what a person might imagine, and emotions. The last way that this harassment is experienced is through frequency attacks. Now, these frequency attacks occur in the form of microwave weapons, which affect a person's mood, how they might feel or think. Now, what has been exacerbating all these things is the quality of our environment, whether our air is polluted or has heavy metals or particulates in it, actually exacerbates this harassment and acts as a conductor for these technologies. So even the quality of our water, whether it's clean, has heavy metals, particulates, our food is often subject to the same processes. And also our, I've been motivated to speak about this, to encourage our community and to take responsibility for our children's future and our community's health and safety. And so the other part of this is our health care, and whether we are governing over our health care, the technology that is incorporated or that is being integrated into these, into our health care. And so with that, I would encourage you, if you would like to learn more, go to targetedjustice.com, and there's a plethora of information for community members, city council members, as well as the public. And so with that, thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mike Knighton, followed by Greg Langworthy.
Good evening, guys. Back in November of 2024, we had an election, and one of the things that we passed in this city was Measure R for MUSD, a $205 million bond. I'm vice chair of that committee that makes sure all the funds are being used where they're supposed to be used. One of the things that I found out personally, is Menifee Elementary School is going to be rebuilt starting this summer. The museum is getting kicked out. Boys and Girls are getting kicked out. Santa's Workshop are being kicked out. Boys and Girls Club, they'll manage. Bill and Julie, they have a place to store all their stuff over at Mott Museum. But that leaves Santa's Workshop is going to be homeless this summer. I'm here to ask you guys to bug those guys to try to facilitate a space for them, for Santa's Workshop to do their thing. We have Quail Valley Fire Station, and we have the other half of the B of A building. I can keep going, but try to find a space for them. I've been there for the last 4 years, or 3 of the last 4 years, as a Santa's helper. It's one of the events I look forward to the most of the year. We're helping out nearly 1,000 kids every single year. And I have a fear that it's going to be difficult in the next few years to keep Santa's Workshop going. I think it's been 20, 25 years, I'm not sure, but if you guys can bug those people to try to find a space, maybe have it the same lease agreement as MUSD is currently offering Santa's Workshop. That way city can make a little bit of money, but you know, that's a little bit of money. But if you guys could do something, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Greg Langworthy, followed by Katie Luna.
Good evening. My name is Greg Langworthy. I'm part of the Riverside Election Integrity Team, and we have been working on our elections since about 2022. And we were given direction from Melissa Melendez. She said, well, if you have concerns about our election system, go see the supervisors. And at that time, I didn't know who the supervisors were. So since that time, we've been dialoguing with the supervisors. But here's what we found out, and this is why we're going around to city councils all around Riverside County. Our voter rolls are very inaccurate. In 2024, Experian did an audit of our election voter rolls. We had about over 200,000 likely ineligible voters that are still being sent ballots. Cities pay for those ballots, by the way, the postage. Only about 11,000 of those have been cleaned up. We've been doing audits of our election system. There's a very simple way to test the integrity of an election system. You simply get the number of ballots that people cast in the election and compare that to the number of votes that are counted by the election system. In every audit we've done, more votes are being counted than the number of ballots that are being cast. Especially in 2004, the general election, 33,888 more votes than ballots. We've audited every election since then. We find the same thing. We found the same thing in the Prop 50 election. What's the cause? We don't know. We don't think the RV knows. The civil grand jury cited this discrepancy as an issue of concern. We believe that it could be the machines. So we're looking into cybersecurity issues. Maybe that's the cause. Whatever the cause is, why, here's the question, why have the supervisors certified these elections when there's such a discrepancy? And here's the reason. They didn't know. We're not given the ballot statements until after the election has already been certified, so the supervisors were unaware of this discrepancy when they certified the elections, and we're trying to correct that. We're in discussions with the Board of Supervisors. So very simply, requiring the ROV to make sure you come to us with a balanced election result, so we know that you've done your job. So that's one of the things we're recommending. We're going to keep communicating with you because we think Riverside County, because we have supervisors that are responsible, they're aware of these problems, we're working on them, but we think you as representatives defending our Constitution, all of you guys taking notes of the Constitution, need to know what's going on. So we will keep you updated through emails. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Katie Luna, followed by Lupe Jenkins.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Katie Luna, President, CEO for the Menifee Valley Chamber of Commerce. I came tonight to give you a few updates on what's been going on at the chamber, a little quick overview from last year, and left a packet of information with the city clerk for each of you with some of our upcoming events. But I want to take a minute to first introduce our 2026 chairperson of our board, which is none other than Miss Vicki Carpenter. So we are happy to have her as our chairperson for 2026. In 2025, we added over 109 members, bringing our membership at the end of 2025 to 320. As of today, we have a little over 330. So we have made big efforts and seen big results in our membership growth. We did 23 ribbon cuttings in 2025. We held 24 mixer events, so mixers, evening social, wake up Menifee events, and the like. And then we had 4 signature events, which are our bigger State of the City, our gala, our golf tournament. And then we did 250 business visits alongside the Economic Development Department here at the city. And then a big thing for us as well, we did resume advocacy efforts in 2025, and we did take positions on 42 bills with the Southwest Legislative Council. I have left with the city clerk a packet of events, but I want to share a few upcoming events that we have going on. January 22nd, we have I Have a Dream digital marketing workshop from 2:30 to 4:30. All this information, you can find the details on our website, www.menifeevalleychamber.com. You can register for events there. Our all chamber mega mixer is Friday, January 29th at the Storm Stadium. And then February 10th is our evening business social. One big thing that we did kick off in 2025 is our chamber travel program. So we're really excited to announce that we have our first chamber travel program where our community can sign up and take a trip as a group. So it's group travel. So if you're an anxious traveler like I am, this is a great way to have a tour guide and to feel comfortable with a group of people. And that trip is to Egypt, and that will be September 23rd, 2026. You can find, again, more information on our website. I have some flyers that I'll leave here. And then last but not least, we have our Policy Outlook event coming up Tuesday, February 17th at the Fairfield Inn in Menifee. So if you want to hear from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Southwest Legislative Council about our priorities for this year, please come out and join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Luna. Next speaker.
Lupe Jenkins, followed by Lori Clough.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem Carwin and council members. During the holidays, we conducted extensive research on Menifee's animal services system. What we found was very alarming. Menifee has abandoned oversight of its animals. We asked Animal Friends of the Valley for their basic operating protocols intake, daily care, medical, behavior standards, adoptions, transferred, euthanasia. They refused. We asked Riverside County for the exact same information. Within one day, they produced over 100 records, including the breeds. One entry is transparent, the other's not. We contacted Supervisor Washington for help or just discussion. Our questions were ignored. We then learned he sits on the board of the Southwest Community Financing Authority and Animal Friends of the Valley, so we were not surprised. But that is not transparency. That is conflict of interest without accountability. Meanwhile, the city of Menifee keeps 0 animal records. Every responsibility has been handed to AFV. There's no city oversight, no reporting, no standards, no public transparency. We filed public records requests. Most were blocked. This matter is now being referred to the California State Attorney General's office. Menifee's population is projected to reach 132,000, which surprised me, larger than Temecula. Yet, the data from SCFA shows that Menifee's intake of animals is at 1,987 animals, with Temecula 665. What's going on? Well, we know what's going on. That's not normal. It's a policy failure. Big difference between them. Menifee does not regulate their backyard breeders or breeders of any kind. Temecula and Murrieta regulate them very stringently. Your joint powers agreement with AFV guarantees no guaranteed kennel space, no intake rights, no oversight, no accountability. AFV controls the system. Menifee has no authority. Yet Menifee's development impact fee study allows funding for a city shelter under the Melrose program. The legal authority exists. The population demands it. The data proves the need. What's missing is action. Menifee residents deserve leadership, not excuses. Accountability, not silence. If this council will not act, we will take this information public through every available media outlet to ensure residents understand exactly what's being done, what's not being done to protect their pets. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Next speaker.
Lori Clough.
Followed by.
Good evening, everyone. We've been asking the city to take meaningful action, including a feasibility study for Menifee-run animal shelter. You've ignored the request. Animal Friends' own numbers make one thing clear: Menifee leadership is failing its animals. From January to November of 2025, 24% of the dogs taken in at Animal Friends were from Menifee. Of those dogs that were euthanized, 28% were from Menifee. In 2024, the pattern was the same, Menifee at the top of the list. Menifee's intake is double that of similar cities, and our euthanasia rate is dramatically higher. Why? Because of decisions or lack of them. Breeder regulation. Temecula and Murrieta regulate backyard breeders. Menifee does not. No regulation means more litters, more intake, and more animals killed. Spay-neuter access is a failure. Menifee has no functional, low-cost spay-neuter option. Animal Friends Clinic is overwhelmed, unreliable, and understaffed. One vet, constant cancellations, and residents are forced to pay $400 to $600 for sterilization procedures and face licensing fines. This guarantees more unwanted litters and more deaths. And again, the city has done nothing. Community education is non-existent. Families surrender pets because they lack support. Menifee offers no education, no prevention, no outreach. The result is predictable. More animals in the system, more animals killed. Fireworks. July 4th and New Year's are Animal Friends' busiest intake days. The city should already be warning residents fireworks are illegal, especially with the upcoming 250-year celebration. Instead, every holiday, every weekend becomes a free-for-all. Veterans are re-traumatized, animals panic and die, and the city looks away. A law that is never enforced is not a law. And through all of this, Animal Friends remains a high-kill shelter. Menifee is their largest source of intake. Menifee's leadership has done nothing to reduce intake, nothing to improve outcomes, and nothing to hold Animal Friends accountable. You approve the contract, you fund the contract, you oversee the contract, and you have allowed the poor level of performance to continue. When a contractor fails, you intervene. When a contractor kills at this rate, you act. And when a contractor cannot meet the needs of the city, you replace them. Menifee animals are suffering because the city chooses not to act. The numbers will not improve until this council stops deflecting and starts to take responsibility. We are asking for your leadership, accountability, and above all, your action. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clough. Any other speakers?
No other speakers.
Okay, moving on. Item number 8 on our agenda is council member updates and comments. This is the time for City Council to provide any updates or comments on meetings and events they have attended. We'll start to the far right with Councilmember Diedrich.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be exceedingly brief, as all of my committees have been in hiatus for the last month or two. But earlier this month, I attended the Daily Road update meeting where EMWD and Waste Management discussed progress there.
Councilmember Temple.
Yes, since our last meeting in December, I attended the ribbon cutting of Santa's Workshop. And then beginning in January, I attended the Menifee Interfaith meeting. Also the Cal Cities Riverside County meeting, the Finance Committee meeting for the city, and then also the Student of the Month for Paris Unified School District.
Thank you for doing that. Alternate presiding official, Dinus.
Could get it on the nameplate? Since our last meeting, I attended the RTA Board of Directors meeting. There was nothing to report out of that. It was just normal business. The next day, I attended the annual T-Now luncheon where all the T-Now, RTA T-Now regional committees come together and do a year-end cap. I also attended the ribbon cutting for the anniversary of Santa's, my mind just went blank.
Santa's Workshop.
Santa's Workshop, thank you. And then on the 10th of this month, we had the ribbon cutting for the mat. So I'm not sure if it's a coffee shop with a laundromat or a laundromat with a coffee shop. So you have to go yourself and figure it out. So and let me know because it's pretty nice. And then on the 13th, we had a finance committee meeting. We discussed a number of CFD issues and also discussed the establishment of a Section 115 trust, which will come back to the full council that will set funds aside to pay for unfunded liabilities that the city might have. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Since our last meeting, I was also at the Santa's Workshop ribbon cutting, and I got a chance to go back the next morning for the actual Santa's Workshop, which was just a tremendous event. Michael Knighton mentioned that earlier, so thank you for doing that, Debbie Mannion and team. I had 2 WRCOG meetings. I attended a special session where we set goals for next year. That was a 3-hour session at Western Water, and then I was appointed to the WRCOG Personnel Policy Ad Hoc Committee, so working on their HR policies there. Along with Councilmember Diedrich, I attended the Daily Road second phase update. I was at the Matt ribbon cutting. I was at a chamber mixer at the Kashan Law Group. Councilmember Temple and I did a tour of some properties that were in Ontario and Rancho Cucamonga, just to give us a sense of some potential development that's coming to the area. So we got to see make a relationship with some of the developers on some excellent ideas for maybe our city. I attended the Nuclear Fuel Apparel 3-year anniversary. It's a veteran-owned business where they make apparel. They're based out of Sun City. Excellent. I had a chance to go to the Historical Society presentation by Dave Faust, the chair of our Parks, Recreation, and Trails Committee, describing and telling us all about how Audie Murphy connects to Menifee and things like that. It was a wonderful presentation, so Chair Faust, thanks for doing that. And then I had the honor on Sunday night of speaking at the View Church MLK Ecumenical Service, which was just a tremendous event, well attended, and just a great night for all. All right, anything else? Anybody forget anything? Nope. All right, moving on. Item number 9 is approval of the minutes. There are 2 sets of minutes for the council's consideration. Does the council have any modifications to either set of minutes? No. All right, so can I ask City Council for an all in favor of approving the December 17th regular and special meeting minutes? All in favor on 3, 1, 2, 3. Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Now we are on to item number 10, the consent calendar. All matters on the consent calendar are to be approved in one motion unless a council member requests a separate action on a specific item on the consent calendar. If an item is removed from the consent calendar, it will be discussed individually and acted upon separately. Unless otherwise directed by a member of the City Council, the vote on ordinance adoptions will reflect the prior action of each council member when the ordinance was introduced. However, if a council member is not present at the City Council meeting, their vote will be reflected as absent. Madam Clerk, are there any requests to speak on the consent calendar?
We have none.
All right. Any items that we wish to pull from the consent calendar?
10-5.
10-5. I was going to do that myself. Well done. Any other items? So can I get a motion and second to approve the balance of the consent calendar absent number 10-5?
I'll second.
All right, that passes 4-0. So we have item number 10.5, which is the donation of the Verdon Street clock from the Rotary Club of Menifee to the City of Menifee. What's your pleasure on that?
I would just like to know how this came to be and to express a little bit of gratitude for what they're doing for the city.
You know, since I was going to pull it also, I'm going to ask for a presentation because it looks like it's about a page and a half, and I think we can get through it pretty quickly. Just give everybody the idea of what's going on.
All right. Good evening, Acting Mayor, City Council, Menifee residents. Mariana Mitchell, Community Services Director. I do have a very short presentation highlighting some of the work that's going into the donation of the Verdon Street clock from the Rotary Club of Menifee to the City of Menifee. So for just a little bit of insight of what we're talking about, the Verdon Street clock is a replica. So it's kind of like an old-timey feel, aluminum post, 2 clock faces that's going to be going at our Civic Center parking lot. So that new lot that's adjacent to the Central Park. And it is a masterpiece in itself. We're excited to be able to add this to the Central Park enhancements and amenities. And the in-kind value of this donation is just under $30,000. And so, again, this clock will be a great addition to what's happening at Central Park. As far as the donation acceptance, Rotary Club of Menifee has done a terrific job in organizing the purchasing, delivery, working out the details on the installation, and then also the electrical utility connection. And by the City of Menifee accepting this donation, we worked with our Public Works team to ensure that the Civic Center parking lot had a place for this clock that's prominent, something that could be seen from the street. And then also the Community Services Department, who maintains our facilities and our parks and right-of-ways, will take over the ongoing maintenance and operation of the clock. So that's part of the donation. And just so that we can visualize where this masterpiece is going to be going, we have an aerial view of what are currently what's at Central Park, and it's going to be going in the elbow of where Civic Center Drive and City Hall Drive is going to be. So again, coming from either direction, you'd be able to tell what time it is. But we are still working with Rotary Club on the installation of this clock. We're timing it with the installation of our trees so that no trees are damaged. But excited to be able to add this to all of the amenities at Central Park as we continue with our enhancements. As you can see, the parking lot is nearly complete, as well as Paloma Wash pedestrian bridge getting there, and then again continuing the work on the amphitheater. So that is my brief presentation, but I do know we have some Rotary board members who are in the audience today, and just acknowledging their work into working with us to get the donation agreement to City Council for recommendation for approval.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Council members, do we have any questions or comments for staff? That satisfies it? All right. Thank you very much, Director. With the consent, since we've opened it, do I need to open it to public hearing or anything?
No.
No. All right. So having no other comments, does anyone want to make a motion on this item? I'll do it. I'll move to approve it.
I'll second.
Oh, it beat me to it. And that item passes 4-0, so thank you, Rotary Club, for your generous donation to the city. We appreciate your public service and your dedication to the city. Okay, that concludes the consent calendar portion of the evening. We're on to item number 11, public hearing items, which brings us to 11.1. Madam Clerk.
Hi there. As mentioned earlier in the evening, staff and the applicant are requesting to continue this item to the February 4th City Council meeting.
All right. Are there any objections to the continuance? Then can we get a motion and second to continue the item to, did you say February 2nd or February 4th?
February 4th.
February 4th. All right. Councilmember Dynas moves.
Second.
That item passes 4-0, so that item will be continued to a date certain, which is February 4, 2026. If you're going to be attending that City Council meeting, pack a lunch. Number 11.2, the first reading and introduction of an ordinance for annexation number 40, Kaiser Medical into Community Facility District 2017-1 Maintenance Services. Does the City Council wish to forego staff's presentation on this item? Seeing unanimous agreement. Does City Council have any questions for staff? Any questions technically? Nope. All right. I'll open the public hearing at 6:59. Madam Clerk, can you confirm this public hearing was legally noticed?
Yes, it was.
All right. Is there any public testimony?
There are none.
Do we have any written protests received?
There are none.
Are there any persons registered to vote in the territory of the district?
There are none.
Have the owners of all of the taxable property consented to the holding of this special election immediately following the public hearing?
Yes, they have.
All right. Do you concur that the special election may be held this evening?
I do.
We'll close the public hearing at 7 o'clock. Does the council have any comments or would you like to discuss? No? All right. I just have one question. I just want to confirm. This is going to be a Kaiser facility that is coming in at Rouse Road and Encanto, right? So it's a new Kaiser facility that's coming. Just in case anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, Kaiser is building a facility here right next to the Evans Brown Mortuary, across the street from there on Rouse and Encanto. That's what this is all about. So can I get a motion and a second to adopt a resolution calling an election?
Second.
That motion passes 4-0. Madam Clerk, have you received the official ballots and waivers from the landowners who can cast their votes on behalf of the owners of all the property?
Yes, I have, and it was a yes vote.
Thank you very much for that result. Can I get a motion and a second to adopt a resolution declaring the election results?
Seconded.
And that passes 4-0 as well for the fabulous 4th District. Madam Clerk, can you please introduce the ordinance?
An ordinance of the City of Menifee, California, amending ordinance number 2017-231 and levying special taxes to be collected during fiscal year 2025-2026 to pay the annual cost of the maintenance and services of streetlights, parks, parkways, streets, roads, open space, the operation of maintenance and storm drain systems, a reserve fund for capital replacement, and administrative expenses with respect to the City of Menifee Community Facilities District number 2017-1, annexation number 40 for maintenance services.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion and second to introduce that ordinance?
Seconded.
And that passes 4-0. And that concludes agenda item 11.2. Moving on, discussion items, agenda section number 12, number 12.1, annual comprehensive financial report for fiscal year end June 30, 2025. May I please ask Director Hickey to come and introduce the item?
Good evening, Acting Mayor, members of council, members of the public, city staff. I'm Travis Hickey, City CFO, here to present an item which is the receive and file item for the city's annual comprehensive financial report, or our financial audit for the year ending June 30th of 2025. So our annual financial audit, as far as the finance department, there's kind of two big things we do. One is the budget, one is the audit. The budget is our forward-looking document. That's our plan. That's how we plan to spend our money in the future. The annual financial audit is the look backward at the actual results of our operations. And that financial audit is audited by an independent firm of public accountants. In this case, it is with the firm of Rogers, Anderson, Malady, and Scott. So they have completed their audit, and we will talk about the results today. So they have a big piece in that. Really focuses on the finance department, but really involves really all of the departments. And so it's really sort of our annual financial checkup. The auditors have rendered an unmodified opinion, which is like a clean bill of health. They've found no findings, no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. And in doing their audit, they look at our internal controls. And those are the controls that make sure that the numbers that our financial systems generate are accurate, and that's kind of what we call our strong bones, and making sure that we have the right structure in place. So in terms of the team for the both sides, for the auditors, the partner for the firm is Scott Mano, manager is Evelyn Morniton Barcina, and the supervisor is Jeff McKinnon, who is here tonight and will present the results of their audit. On the finance team, I have Deputy Finance Director Margarita Cornejo, Finance Manager Anne-Marie Etienne, Principal Accountants Dominic Tartaglia and Melissa Cortez, Financial Analyst Lori Lockwood, and our Accountant Colin O'Connell. So it is a pretty extensive effort for the Finance Department to work with our auditors to get this completed. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. McKinnon to talk about the results of the audit, and after that, Anne Marie will come up and talk about the financial results.
Can I just say it bugs me in that graphic that the person couldn't draw a straight line under that number?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, go back and take a look at that. Watch the person try to draw the straight line. Oh, come on. We got to refresh. Got to hit watch again. All right, well, we'll get to it in the next presentation.
No, we'll get to it.
Oh, there we go. Hey, could you highlight that number for me? Sure.
Is he?
The lack of precision by that bookkeeping person is not emblematic of the city of Menifee.
Well, that's what happens when an accountant is drawing and they don't have their ruler with them. So.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, members of City Council. First, on behalf of RAMS, I would like to thank the council once again for retaining us as the city's auditors and allowing us to provide this service to the city of Menifee and the community. So going into an audit, our main objective is to express an opinion on management's financial statements. We have to stress that that financial report and all the contents in it are the responsibility of management. So after gathering all of our audit evidence, we are able to provide reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material misstatement. So we say reasonable assurance because in order to get absolute insurance, we would have to trace every single transaction down to the penny, which is not always practical or cost effective. And then we render an opinion as to whether those financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles or US GAAP. So again, the audit standards we follow are generally accepted auditing standards, or GAS, generally accepted government auditing standards, and in the case of the single audit over federal awards, uniform guidance. There's two sets of responsibilities between management of the city and us as auditors. So city management, they again have a responsibility for the contents of the financial statements. They're responsible for maintaining complete and accurate financial records, as well as maintaining that framework of internal control that also serves to help detect and prevent fraud. The governing body, as the city council, has a fiduciary duty to the city and to ensure management is fulfilling its obligations over internal controls and financial reporting. So the auditor's responsibility is to perform our audit in accordance with government auditing standards and obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free of material misstatement. So on a test basis, we're going in there looking at amounts that support documentation that supports the disclosures and amounts within the financial statements. We also assess the accounting principles used, estimates made by management, and then finally we express our opinion. So as Travis mentioned, our final opinion is unmodified, which is the highest level of assurance that we can provide, or a clean opinion. They are fairly presented in all material respects. Significant accounting policies have been consistently applied. Estimates are reasonable and all necessary disclosures are properly reflected. You can see down in the little box there some new audit requirements. So the Governmental Accounting Standards Board, as an annual tradition in creating more work for everybody, issued 2 significant new pronouncements that were effective for fiscal year 25. GASB 101 has to do with compensated absences. It basically seeks to kind of unify some consistency in reporting over compensated absences as far as when they're recognized in the financial statements. And 102 is called certain risk disclosures. So that creates new guidelines for disclosing any significant concentrations or risks that the city would face in the notes to the financial statements. Some other required reporting that you'll have received along with the annual comprehensive financial report is what we call the GAGAS report on internal control. So that's in accordance with government auditing standards. It basically details some of our considerations over internal control throughout the audit. And then what we call the SAS 114 letter, that's kind of like a catch-all of various other points that we're required to communicate with you, such as if there were any difficulties during the audit, which there were none, any significant risks. And in that case, we did not find any that are unique to the city. And then the single audit, that's actually ongoing right now. That's will be ready for you by the federal deadline at the end of March. And then we're also issuing a report on the appropriations limit, or the GAN limit. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions about the audit process.
Thank you very much. Let's see here. Does City Council have any questions for staff or the presenter?
Couple of
Councilmember
questions
Dynas.
on the new requirements. The GASB 101 that's for what, all vacation and sick leave and all that kind of thing?
Yes, one of the major changes to it is it also incorporates sick leave along with vacation. Many entities were only accruing the vacation time, but really any sick leave, if it's paid out at termination or retirement, it also has to be accrued as well under the new standard.
And the 102, that is, what kind of risk were you referring to? What is it looking for?
So typically, in my experience, I've seen it really come into play with special districts. For example, if a water district has one source of their water or only a handful of customers, that could present some risk to them if one of those customers were to go out of business or they were to lose their source of water. So it is a bit broad, but I would say it largely focuses on like going concern issues or things that would cause like significant financial hardship to the city.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff or the presenter? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
I don't want to interrupt. We still have part of the presentation for Anne Marie.
I was trying to get right through it.
Yeah.
All right, next part of the presentation. We're looking forward to it.
Good evening, Council. Anne Marie Etienne, Finance Manager, tasked with responsibility for all city audits. This evening, we're going to bring you a summary of how the budget plan for fiscal 2025 ended in terms of actual results. So let's go backward. There we go. Cool. Our financial report is readily available to the public on our city's website, and it is available on our finance department's page. For presentation purposes in the ACFR, our general fund actually includes our 1% additional sales tax measure, quality of life, the internal service funds for information technology, fleet and facilities, as well as the trust fund. Total revenues within this general fund ended at $115.9 million at June 30th. Most city revenues fall into the categories of taxes, charges for service, licenses, and permits. From our slide, we can see taxes make up about 61.56%, intergovernmental about 10.93%, and charges for services come in at 9.84%. This slide does a comparison of how we closed out fiscal 2024 versus 2025. Now, while variances exist within both years in the revenue categories, there was an overall net increase of approximately $9 million or 8.54%. This increase is largely attributable to one-time mitigation revenue for the Rockport Ranch project, increased investment income, about $1.4 million higher than the prior year due to an economic rebound that produced higher interest earnings on investments, and a $1.4 million increase in property tax revenue resulting from a growth in assessed property values also contributed to our overall increase in revenues. Lastly, our VLF came in at about $942,000, which is higher than prior year. Our development revenue from our engineering, fire, planning, and building safety departments all came in about $500,000 higher than last year. Total expenditures in the general fund ended at $98.9 million. Most city expenditures either fall within the public safety realm or the general government. From our slide, we can see public safety makes up 55.68%, while general government makes up 23.14%. General fund expenditures totaled $98.9 million in fiscal year June 30th, 25, compared to $90.7 million in fiscal 2024. This increase, about $8.2 million, was due to various increases within our bonded CFDs, increased costs for our public safety-related services, such as $1 million in our fire contract, as well as $144,000 for our dispatch services. Additionally, the city invested approximately $1.2 million for the purchase of just under 400 acres of open space known as Menifee Hills to be used for future recreation opportunities. Within capital outlay, we can notice a slight decrease, and this is just due to winding down of major projects from 2024, such as Holland Road and Fire Station 5. Outside of the general fund, this shows our revenues and our expenditures across all governmental funds. So here we're also included our capital projects fund, our DIF fund, grants, TUM funds. When we look at our revenues, intergovernmental went down just over $9 million. This was as a result of reduced TUMF reimbursements being processed, since most of the bigger project activity actually happened in 2024. So we had less reimbursements being processed through current year 2025. Within developer participation, we show that we have an increase of just over $2 million, and this just reflects increased DIF revenues being received by the city. Contributions from property owners shows an increase of just under $5 million, and this is from our bonded CFD activity, where we had quite a few bond issuances within fiscal 2025. For the expenditures, public safety, we had the costs for our police department as well as fire contract, and we had quite a few of our major projects completed, as we talked about earlier, so that reflects that $20 million decrease in capital outlays. Now, when we talk even further on capital assets, this is a reflection of the specific things included in there. You can see we had about just over $2 million increase in land. That's just $1.2 million for the purchase of the open space that we talked about earlier. Construction process actually went down, and that is due to the completion of the major projects like Holland Road and Fire Station 5. But at the same time, you can also see building, equipment, and infrastructure did increase a bit, and all that shows is continued acceptance of the city of larger projects, as well as us accepting Fire Station 5. We got a couple slides where we just show off some of the work done by our CIP division. So we have Bradley Road widening near PVHS, the Menifee Road resurfacing, E.L. Peterson Dog Park expansion, and we also have the Quail Valley Grid Area streetlights. For another year, the city was a proud recipient of the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Accounting. We received this award for our fiscal 2024 ACFR. This is an attestation to an amazing accounting team supported by a great audit firm. I would love to use this opportunity to really shout out our principal accountant, Melissa Cortez, and our accountant one, Colin O'Connell. They had a lot to do with getting us here today. And with that, if you have any questions for staff.
Thank you. Regarding this part of the presentation, do we have any questions from the council? I have a question. Earlier today, we had a special presentation from the finance department, and there was a comment made that were it not for the one-time payment from the battery storage facility, we would have experienced a shortfall in the last year. Did I hear that correctly? Is that true?
Yeah, that is correct. I think the figures we saw on this slide here was kind of taxes in the aggregate. So that was all of our property taxes, transient occupant taxes. And so in the overall, there was an overall increase in our taxes, but specific to sales tax from one year to the next would have been lower within our quality of life funds had it not been for that one-time revenue.
So then my question would be, next year, since it was a one-time payment, does that take care of that shortfall for a set of years into the future, or are we expecting a shortfall in the next fiscal year because we're not getting that payment again?
Our budget didn't project to continue to receive that, and so we have been monitoring our budget to actual for the current fiscal year, and we think we're on track. At the next council meeting, we'll have an update with our mid-year budget presentation, but we think we're on track with our sales tax revenue. but there is a lot of kind of delays in that sales tax reporting. So we really kind of never know how we're going to finish the year until we're a couple months past the end of the year. But we do think we're on track with that, with our current budget level.
And the fiscal year ends in June, right?
Correct.
So at this point, without that battery storage infusion of funds, we're projecting parity for the 25-26 fiscal year.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all the questions I had. No need to panic is what you're saying.
No need to panic.
Okay.
In fact, there are potentially other revenue sources we think will do better than budget. So.
All right. Thank you. And after that, any other questions from council? No. All right. Do you have any requests to speak on this item?
We have none.
Does City Council wish to make any comments at this time? I will comment and just commend our finance staff for just the tremendous level of transparency. All of these materials are available on our website, more than you could possibly go through, but you're welcome to. And just the list of awards our finance department earns on behalf of the city is why we have such faith in our city and the strength of our city economy. So congratulations to the finance team, an excellent job. Appreciate it. All right, so this is a receive and file item, so no further action is required. So we'll close that one out and move on to number 12.2, the last item on our discussion item calendar, Independence Celebration 2026 Semi-Quincentennial. Could I ask Director Mitchell to introduce the item?
Good evening, Acting Mayor, City Council. I would like to introduce our Community Services Manager, Gabby Cow, who's going to provide tonight's presentation.
Thank you.
Hello and good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. Tonight I'll be providing an overview of the exciting potential opportunities for Menifee's semi-quincentennial celebration, which really is just a fancier term for the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The 2026 Independence Celebration event is currently scheduled for Saturday, June 27th. This annual event was first hosted by our lovely Lake Menifee Women's Club in 1990. Over the years, the city has increased its partnership with Lake Menifee Women's Club, taking on some of the larger components of the event, however, maintaining the traditional date as the Saturday before July 4th. In 2025, the city formalized our relationship with the Lake Menifee Women's Club through an MOU. By continuing as the sole coordinator for food and merchant vendors, the Independence Celebration event has become the club's largest fundraising opportunity, with net proceeds making their way back into this community to support our local organizations. The Community Services Department actually began the initial planning for the semi-quincentennial celebration last year during the planning phase of the 2025 event. Taking note of opportunities for improvement, comparing against regional celebrations, collecting feedback from our event partners before, during, and after the 2025 event, and considering ways of enhancing this year's event in a way that is meaningful and demonstrative of the city's patriotic spirit while remaining fiscally responsible. This year, we additionally want to consider ways of improving attendee comfort and some opportunities to expand access to the parade. The Independence Celebration has a solid framework of event components that include a variety of food and craft vendors, kids zone with inflatable attractions and DJ, live entertainment on stage, concluding with a fireworks display. While the overall structure of the event is intended to remain consistent this year, staff recommends several ways to enhance the experience, particularly for this year. To expand access to the parade and improve participant experience, staff have explored the possibility of separating the community parade from the festival component, particularly moving the parade to July 4th and relocating it to Sun City. I'll provide some additional context for this option in the next slide. Additional day of enhancements such as family-friendly competitions and photo opportunities can be added to engage residents of all ages throughout the event timeline and the footprint. CSD will incorporate overall 250 patriotic theme as additional components and giveaway items at select summer events, building anticipation and culminating in a spectacular independence celebration. To properly set the tone, staff is also recommending enhancements to the event main stage, including higher caliber entertainers and additional audiovisual components. The option to move the community parade to the morning of July 4th in Sun City does provide several advantages. Hosting the parade separately allows the evening celebration footprint at Wheatfield Park to expand into the roadway at La Piedra, enabling the city to manage vendor requirements directly with Lake Menifee Women's Club and increase vendor participation through a more streamlined vendor recruitment process. The location offers improved accessibility for seniors and mobility-limited residents, including closer residential proximity and shorter walking distances. Sun City provides a parade-friendly street layout with longer straight corridors, fewer driveway conflicts, and reduced impacts to our major arterials. Utilizing Sun City also presents an opportunity to activate nearby businesses, including those within the Cherry Hills Plaza area. For reference, Sun City successfully hosted the Wall That Heals Motor Escort in 2023, demonstrating its ability to accommodate large-scale ceremonial and patriotic events. Additionally, this approach allows the city to expand independent celebration programming geographically while addressing public interest in hosting a patriotic event on the actual 4th of July holiday and preserving the traditional evening's independent celebration on the Saturday before. We are cognizant of the traffic impacts currently experienced due to the Bradley Bridge construction. However, should staff be directed to further explore this particular option, CSD will coordinate with our internal city departments to develop a traffic control plan and confirm a parade route that ensures the safety, accessibility, and advanced communication with all local residents, businesses, and through traffic in the area. To further explore the idea of potentially moving the entire independent celebration to the 4th of July, staff have conducted preliminary research to assess foreseeable impacts of such a move. Primarily, we must account for supply and demand impacts due to it being on a major holiday. To streamline efforts in general event planning throughout the year, CSD has identified dependable service and equipment providers for our event needs, considering availability, their customer service, quality, and overall costs. Many of our rentals are quite unique and or only provided with by a limited amount of our local suppliers here in the region. Vendors depend on consistent annual scheduling to balance supply and demand of their inventory and their staffing while honoring the needs of their recurring clients. Holiday markups on equipment rentals and services vary, but often involve dynamic pricing, jumping between 50 to 100% for high demand periods, such as a holiday, over their base rates. This jump reflects increased operational costs, demand surges, and premium service offerings. Additionally, there's no guarantee that our request would be fulfilled. After comparing regional events that currently take place on the 4th and consulting with some of our major service providers, our preliminary estimates indicate that this cost increase of moving this event to July 4th would range from $70,000 to $100,000 above the current event budget. Additionally, the consensus from some of our partners with facilities and safety services was that though the date change is certainly possible, it would add strain to already limited staffing based on additional operations already scheduled for that day. Additionally, this year would not require additional holiday pay on top of OT for city personnel associated with the event because the city observes the holiday on July 3rd. However, should the change in the event date be considered moving forward, we would need to account for the additional impact of personnel costs. So in addition to the event enhancements that I already introduced earlier in this presentation, the department distributed a public survey to our community partners back in December, collecting suggestions on how the city can improve events, programs, and activities to celebrate this special occasion, and additionally to challenge our partners to integrate the 250th theme into their own events and celebrations this year. The survey QR code is here on this slide, and we are still accepting feedback in ways of enhancing our events this year, but you can also find it on our website at www.cityofmenifee.us/special events. And again, we're checking regularly to see if we can continue to include our community partners. The 2026 approved event budget for non-personnel costs is $78,700. Within that, $25,000 specifically is allocated for the fireworks show and $5,000 for the headlining band. Staff is recommending a one-time entertainment enhancement allocation of up to $15,000 to be applied exclusively toward elevating the entertainment components of the event. Based on research, local market, and event experience, fireworks enhancements, which includes a longer show or a longer finale, may range between $15,000 and $25,000. Adding a 10-minute drone show is estimated at $20,000 to $30,000. And production enhancements such as procuring a higher quality headlining band or elevating audiovisual components may range anywhere between $7,500 to $20,000. Pending council's feedback and any approved allocation, it is still staff's intention during the event planning process to identify savings from other areas to additionally supplement the entertainment budget as well as other event enhancements. Based on the total amount of available funds, staff will determine event amplifications based on competitive procurement process and overall benefit and value to the event experience. Thank you for your consideration of the Independence Celebration Parade and event recommendations. We truly look forward to working with our community partners, city departments, and of course the Lake Menifee Women's Club to really make this year a memorable event. At this time, I can answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Ms. Cow. So at this time, we'll open it up to the City Council. If you've got any questions of staff regarding the presentation, do we have any technical questions of staff? Do you have one? I do. All right, go right ahead.
What was last year's attendance, approximately?
We were estimating approximately 13,000.
Councilmember Diedrich?
The recommended $15,000, is that just, I know we talked about extending the fireworks, the drone show, higher quality entertainers. Does staff have an opinion as to where that $15,000 would be going?
I think part of that will depend on what the approved allocation would be, and then also we will continue to determine what our savings are through other programs and events leading up to it, and based on the final bulk amount, we'll be able to prioritize what that might look like, and then of course with feedback from council, where your priority might lie as well. And of course, community feedback through our survey.
I have a couple questions. The additional funds that are being requested, would those just be general fund allocations? Okay, we don't have a special like events fund that this would come out of, it would just be general fund, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and regarding the placement of the parade in Sun City, has anybody asked Sun City if they even want it there?
We have not yet, so this is just preliminary information. Once we get direction and feedback from council and the survey, we will additionally explore those options.
I would, part of me wants to see it in Quail Valley because it's just a big giant hill. And I couldn't decide whether I wanted to march uphill or downhill. I think down would be funnier.
But you do have to return to the starting point at some point.
Yeah, that's a tough loop. All right. Any other technical questions of staff? Hearing none. All right. Thank you, Ms. Cowell, for that. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
Yes, I do.
All right. Who's our first speaker?
We have Michael Knighton, followed by Gloria Sanchez. If Gloria would like to go first, she can go first.
We're 30 feet away, and I'm happy about that right now. First of all, I want to thank Mayor Carwin for hooking me up with Gabby and Mariana this past summer. Had a meeting with them. It was very productive. They listened, and about this 2026 250th year celebration, I would like to recommend the parade in Sun City. One of the things that I've noticed when I go to Wheatfield, I never see old people. They can't park. They're not going to drive at night. They just don't do it. It'd be nice to give that community something city sponsored. As far as the fireworks show goes, none of you guys can remember the 2023 fireworks. And because they've been the same the last year. The last fireworks show that's memorable was the 2020. And the reason it was memorable, besides it was a brass monkey year, was the city threw all that extra money that from COVID that we couldn't use for the production into extra fireworks. Big fan of more fireworks. Last year's, like I told them, it was kind of disappointing. It went by super quick. The finale was less than a minute. The drone show, I don't care for the drone show because it's only visible from one face. Everybody else in their backyards over at the college, they can't see the drone show. I mean, they can see it, it just won't make sense because they're designed forward facing. My only concern is, like you just brought up, Sun City hasn't been notified. I don't think the Women's Club's been notified about moving the parade, but I do like giving something to the old guys over in the, what are you laughing at? You're an old guy too. But I like giving the senior community something to celebrate also. And finally, the first page of your presentation there, and even the little thing right there, Independence Celebration 2026. Nowhere does it say Independence Day celebration. It's an Independence Celebration. That's been in the logo for the past 10 years or so. So, thank you.
All right, next speaker.
Gloria Sanchez.
Point, counterpoint. Welcome to Firing Line.
Good evening, Mayor, Acting Mayor, City Council, staff, residents of Menifee. I'm here to announce, number one, that it's been my honor to be elected president of the Lake Menifee Women's Club. In so doing, I have been a member for many years, have been part of the Independence Parade, as well as the vendor portion. The Lake Menifee Women's Club has been a long-standing organization behind this event for many, many years. And we did start this, so keep that in mind. For the past years that we have been involved with the Independence Celebration Day, the event has been scheduled to be held a Saturday before the 4th of July. We found that many vendors and parade entrants were more likely to be available the Saturday prior to the actual 4th of July. Many people in the community already have other 4th of July commitments, which could result in lower attendance. We understand, on the other hand, that the city is growing and many new residents, citizens, as well as established citizens may be open to the change. And as Michael said, old people, I think he means the elderly people that live in the Sun City. I do not like to be called old. Yes, you are. But what I would like to point out is that anyone that wants to attend the events, for any of the events that the city puts on or whatever, they come because they want to be there, not because it's in their backyard. Because this is not truly in my backyard. I'm close to it, but I'm part of an organization that sponsors this whole event. The Lake Menifee Women's Club has partnered with many crowd-favored vendors, and we foresee potentially many of these may not be able to adjust, but we would like to try to retain as many as we can if we move forward with the new change. So we request that if we be notified and be at the table, because we were not at the table, and this is at no fault for the city, because our club was going through a transition period. So it is no fault of theirs. It was just, unfortunately, we were going through this, and we did not have officers at that time. But since then, they have reached out to me as the president, and so we are in dialogue. But if we continue with this change, we request that we be notified as soon as possible so we can inform our vendors on a possible date change to give Menifee the chance on retaining them for the 4th. I also feel that there's going to be a great competition to get vendors out.
Ms. Sanchez, your 3 minutes are up.
Thank you.
Any more speakers?
No more speakers.
All right. Well, at this time, it's time for us to discuss. We've heard the presentation. We've heard some comments. Who wants to go first? Councilmember Dynas.
Well, a quick question. With moving the parade, have you considered the logistics, the parking, and all that? I mean, there's not a lot of parking other than street parking over there. If there's when it comes to staging for the parade and everything like that, have you worked that out where it's feasible?
Yes, we have met internally with several city departments just to, float the idea around and see if this is feasible. We have a couple of different businesses in the area and organizations that have larger parking lots that we would pursue conversations with should we move in this direction.
Okay. But if we move, even if it's just a parade into the 4th of July, we're still up against the issue of paying overtime and holiday pay and everything for staff that work that. So, I mean, it's still a more expensive way to go. I won't say more expensive route, but that would too much like a parade. So have you considered that, the extra cost involved from having to pay, holiday time and overtime? Was that considered as part of the relocating the parade?
Yes, we've done some initial assessment of the personnel cost. Operating a parade does require a significantly less personnel, especially separating it as a standalone event. But we have looked at it, and again, should we move forward in this direction, we will take a fuller assessment.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think it's a significant anniversary of the 250th. I think we should, focus on that. I think it's a great thing to do, but try to do that and move the parade and consider moving the whole event to July 4th. I think I think we should focus just on the celebration and not worry about everything all at once. That's one big change and a lot of logistics involved and things like that. I can see the need for additional space because of, for the vendors and things like that. But still, I think that's just a little too much to do in 1 year. And we maybe, revisit a lot of this later on, but just keep the event on as it always has been, and then discuss the possibility of a different time for the parade. I know part of the problem with the parade, it gets, pretty warm out at 4 o'clock. Did you ever discuss amongst yourselves, maybe moving it to 5:30, 5 o'clock? That would, still give enough time to do the parade. I mean, the fireworks aren't till 9 o'clock, so it'd be a little cooler for everyone.
Yes, in past years, we have alternated between 4 p.m. start and a 5 p.m. start. Essentially, we work with the Lake Menifee Women's Club to determine that start time, so that's definitely still something that we can consider as pushing back the start time for the parade.
It is, okay. Like I said, I just think, I prefer to see focus on the actual celebration itself. It's a milestone event, and then readdress everything else at a later date. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Temple.
I know that in the past heat has been an issue, and it always will be here. Has the city in any way thought of either bringing in resources or maybe collaborating with the college to, one, open up restrooms or have something there for all the people that do the staging, all the people that are working, and then also, if possible, and I'm sure the college would be more than happy to work with us, to open up a room that's close to that staging area where people could go in and be refreshed, sit in the AC for a little bit before they get on that 130-degree pavement and walk. That might be something that would be helpful. And I'll save my comments about everything else for later during discussion.
That's where we are now.
Are we there now? Okay, so
yeah, this is a discussion item, so we can discuss it anytime.
Okay, well so have we looked at partnering with the college a little more closely other than just with the use of their parking lot?
We currently haven't. We have in the past utilized their bathroom facilities, but that's definitely something that we can explore this year.
Yeah, because I know the people that stage spend a long time there, and that would be almost unbearable, and that would really help. But I wish Gloria had 30 seconds more. Thumbs up or thumbs down on July 4th. you know, I've spent 23 years going to the parade the weekend before, and I've never had a problem. However, I think it would be nice to do it on July 4th, all in one fell swoop. The parade and the celebration. You know, the 4th of July, I mean, in spite of all of our differences, where we come from, what we believe, this is the one holiday that unites us as Americans, and it should be something really good. And, you know, I'm all for, you know, allocating the resources to make it a great event. You know, with 13,000 people coming to celebrate being Americans and to celebrate the birth of our nation. I would like to explore doing it on the 4th, though, if the Menifee Lakes Women's Club could continue with that. But I think they've done a tremendous job thus far in the past and will continue to do so. So I fully support them in this parade all being on the same day.
All right, Councilmember Diedrich, your input, please.
Yes. I know it is kind of odd that we have not historically done it on the 4th of July, and people ask, you know, why is Menifee doing it in June, right? How is that the 4th of July celebration in June? But there is a history to it, and it has allowed us to have a larger celebration over the years than we might otherwise have been. I'm not against the idea of potentially looking at moving it to the 4th, but I think this year, being the 250th anniversary, or the 250th anniversary, I think the focus, from my point of view at least, would be on making it the greatest celebration we could, which to get the most of our money's worth, it's not going to be on the 4th. It's going to be on the Saturday before. It's going to allow us to put on a spectacular event rather than doubling the cost, keeping the same level of quality, but moving it to the 4th this year.
Before I give my comments, I think it's only right that I read the letter we got from Mayor Estrada. This was an important issue for him, and he's not here to give his input, but he did send us a memo. So I'm just going to read it. It's not that long, just so we know his position on it. It says, July 4th, 1776 is the founding of our country and the ideals of all of our freedoms we enjoy today. Americans cherish this day. As this year marks America's 250th birthday, Menifee should not be cheap. We have the money and we can afford it. This theme and our freedoms will be recognized around the country all throughout the year. Menifee should invest heavily in its celebration of our July 4th federal holiday. 1, I, Ricky Estrada, support spending the extra $25,000 for increasing the duration of the fireworks show with a larger grand finale. Everyone in attendance to our celebration looks forward to celebrating with fireworks. That moment is important. 2, I support spending the extra $25,000 to incorporate a drone show. Give Menifee a new and unique experience. 3, the parade should begin at 5:30 p.m. on La Piedra Road at Wheatfield Park. Having parades at 4 p.m. is still too hot and impedes attendance outdoors in July. 4, have one big celebration at Wheatfield Park with parade at 5:30 and fireworks show at 9 instead of breaking it up into multiple events in Sun City in the morning and at Wheatfield Park at night. 5, the city should actually celebrate on July 4th instead of June. I encourage residents, especially those who have never attended city council meetings before, to come share their ideas on this agenda item tonight. God bless America and Menifee. Sincerely, Mayor Ricky Estrada. I think it's only fair that I read that there. My take on it, I think having events on 2 separate days doesn't make a lot of sense, especially because they're 6 days apart. You know, if you were to do a weekend festival, an independence festival, and do it on Saturday and Sunday, and have some stuff on Sunday, some stuff on Saturday, that would at least make sense, like a music festival. But doing something on one Saturday and then something the following Saturday, 6 days later, they don't seem to go together. And we keep talking about June, you know, the Saturday before 4th of July as being our tradition. We go, we really want to do it. We really want to keep it there because that's our tradition. Except, you know, we'll do a parade on July 4th and celebrate on that day too, which is not our tradition. That's kind of an inconsistent message. We talk about Menifee being quirky and unique, what sets us apart. Having our thing the Saturday beforehand is kind of a unique thing for Menifee, and we get a lot of folks out here with boats. They love to go to Lake Havasu. They love to do all that stuff on 4th of July because it's a long weekend or a long holiday whenever it falls. And a lot of our residents know that we've been doing it the Saturday beforehand and plan to go away for the July 4th time. And if we just said, no, we're doing it July 4th, I think they're going to choose to go away and not cancel their plans to be at our event. So I think it's inconsistent. I do agree that the parade, I would like to see the parade start at 5:30. I would like to see it staged at the Bell Mountain parking lot, and then, because it's covered and stuff, and then walk down La Piedra and Menifee Road and conclude at the Wheatfield Park entrance. And then from there, people could just walk right through the park, back to their cars and stuff at the Bell Mountain staging area. And we could even utilize the Bell Mountain Gym as staging if Valley-wide would allow us to do it. You're looking at me like you thought of that, and it's not going to work.
Unfortunately, according to our MOU with Menifee Union School District, the parking lot at Bell Mountain is part of the fireworks fallout zone, so we cannot have the public in there.
Interesting. Okay, fair enough. But that's a half-mile route right there, that distance. And that parade would go right in front of everybody who is jammed in there for the festivities that night. The people are already there for the parade, so you wouldn't have to set up crowds twice or move people twice or do anything like that. I don't think the people of Sun City would be super psyched for 5,000 people to show up in the middle of the Sun City grid with their cars and their kids and the noise and all that other stuff. Sun City has never done its own parade, I think probably for that reason. There's 4,800 homes in Sun City. If they wanted to do one, I think Brian Holly would have arranged it by now. So I would like to see it all in one day. I think the idea of doing the parade first thing in the morning and the stuff at night, that doesn't make any sense. But if you do it as the kickoff of the event, we open the doors at 4 o'clock, and then at 5:30 we do the parade after people have gotten there and established and everything. And then we roll right into the entertainment at the end. I think that would be cool. So my feeling is to keep it all on June 28th. I kind of agree with what Michael Knighton said about the drone show. Drones are cool. But like I love on July 4th, I sit up on my balcony and I can see the fireworks from Moreno Valley and Lake Elsinore and all the other places around. It's kind of cool. But if they're drones, you get one shot at it. And the drones don't go boom, which is also a cool thing. So I don't know if we need the drone show. But I think they're very cool, and I love drones. But I think for this, I'd rather see just fireworks. So my feeling would be to do it all on June 28th. It kind of keeps in line with what we've always come to expect in the city of Menifee as a fun tradition, and the cost savings is $70,000 to $100,000. That speaks volume. That's fiscally responsible. So do we have any additional comments before I tally this up? Go ahead.
I would just echo what's been said there, that I am in favor of, increasing largely the expense for the fireworks to put on an impressive fireworks show for this 250th anniversary. And I'd also be in favor of increasing for the entertainment too. I think we talk about drawing people to Menifee. We're doing it on a different day from our surrounding neighbors, right? So having a large, larger scale entertainment group perform that would potentially attract people, I think would be a good thing too.
Yeah, Councilmember Temple-Witt, I can get your input on the increase, the request for the increased cost.
I really don't care one way or the other about the drones. I think, I don't know what added benefit that would have really, but I do think it would be really good to add the additional cost for fireworks and then, like Ben said, for the entertainment. I think that would be awesome.
Councilmember Dynas, your opinions on the additional cost?
I hear the Eagles are in Vegas for.
The Eagles are there. They might have an off day.
I would think that fireworks are a tradition with the independence celebration. I like to keep it that way. Just go all out on the fireworks.
And what about the additional entertainment expense to ramp up?
I think the last ones were pretty good. Maybe because they sang old songs that I recognize for a change. But yeah, I think if we could do something like kick it up a notch, and we had 13,000 last year. We're probably going to have considerably more given what we're planning on. So I think having a larger name would be beneficial.
Okay, so by my tally, we've got 3 who want to keep it all together on June 28th, not split it up on 2 days and keep it on that Saturday before the holiday. Councilmember Temple wanted to consolidate it all together also, but do it on July 4th. And I think we're all in favor of the increased budget that was requested to make it a more substantial event. Does that give you everything you need to go on? Do we need to vote on that or anything? Discussion item? Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Anybody else want to add anything before we close this item? Nope. All right. Thank you very much. Looking forward to the next update on it. Item number 13, City Attorney reports. Mr. City Attorney, anything to report?
No, Mayor, thank you.
All right. Anything from the City Manager?
No, Mayor.
Now we get to the future agenda requests. Does City Council have any future agenda item requests? Councilmember Temple.
I have one. It's been asked over and over again. I would like to get some direction and possible feedback on utilizing or assisting in any way Santa's workshop with some property here in Menifee. I don't know what we can do, but at least we can talk about it.
So your requested item is an evaluation of what the city can do to support Santa's workshop space needs?
Correct.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
And then I have a future agenda item. Let me just check with the city attorney first. I just looked in our city ordinance. I didn't see anything here. Do we have an ordinance on backyard breeder regulation?
I don't believe that we do, Mayor.
Okay, then I'm led to believe that other cities do surrounding us. I'd like a future agenda item for a presentation of a possible ordinance of regulation of backyard breeders in the city of Menifee. Second from Councilmember Dinas. Anything else from City Council? Nope. At 7:56, we are adjourned. Thanks, Steve.